This is Arthur Riley, pastor of Mount Calvary Church. If you found this, it means the rats are back. If they are, beware.
When I first moved back in, I found a tape that my dad recorded. On it, he admits to killing a man named Royce Cobb.
What?
Something's not right.
Things have been happening in this house. Dylan is acting strange. Dee?
Mom?
Dead animals start showing up all around our property.
It's you! You want me to check your room?
No, I like it when he visits.
When who visits?
There was a man who lived down there. Everybody called him the Piper. His old ice cream drove one of them trucks.
Hey, I was calling to find out the reason for Dylan's absence today.
What?
All the kids followed him like the Pied Piper.
No, I dropped him off myself this morning.
There's another child that went missing earlier today, Nathan Hudson.
Let's look at the original story of the Pied Piper. The kids were let out of town, just like the rats.
Don't. You'll only make it worse.
As a parent, you have one job.
This is Arthur Riley, pastor of Mount Calvary Church.
Welcome back to the SWAU's official channel. I'm Bryan, your host, and my guest today is an actress known for playing smart, fearless, and emotionally layered characters. You've seen her in Designated Survivor, Chasing Life, and now she's starring in the powerful new film, The Confession. She's truly phenomenal in everything she does. It's Italia Ricci. Italia, welcome to the show, my love.
Thank you, Bryan. Happy to be here.
Oh, do you know what? I've been trying to get to talk to you for years, ever since Designated Survivor. So I've managed to get, is it Paolo Costino? I can never say his name. Yeah.
Paulo.
Yeah, Paulo. Yes.
Paulo
So
Costanzo, yeah.
I got him on the show many moons ago, as well as Reed Diamond on the show as well. And I was trying to get you, and I could never get you, obviously, because you're very, very busy, Italia.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. Do you know what? I've got you now, and I watched an incredible film last night with my wife called The Confession. And this film is phenomenal. I'm not a gore man. I don't like lots of blood and gore or anything like that. Let me get a poster up of this film. But I've got to say, I rate the films with my wife in mind. So if my wife says a film is good, it's good. Because I don't know about you, but I don't know when you're sat down with Robbie and you're watching a film, do you get a moment when you're looking at your phone a lot when you're watching films?
I mean, if we find that we're doing that within the first 15 minutes, we'll usually turn it off.
Yeah, exactly. So I rate films by the phonometer, and my wife didn't look at her phone once. She didn't play bingo or Candy Crush or anything like that. So first of all, where are you calling in from? Because you've been around. You've been America, Canada. Are you back in Canada now?
Yes, so we're dual citizens. My husband and I lived in LA for 15 years, but we're both from around Toronto. He's from Toronto proper. And when we had a kid, we wanted to raise a homegrown Canadian boy. So we have a place in California still that we visit. But I'm calling you from good old Canada, freezing cold Canada. I'm literally watching gusts of snow go past the window as
I am so jealous. It never snows. Well, tell a lie. It snows for like 5 minutes in the UK, and then everything stops literally transport trains. And, I'm so jealous. I love the snow. I bet your little one absolutely loves it, because when it snows, my girls, they're only 8 and 12. Literally, they want to get out there for hours on end. And I'm like, really?
We keep getting like a whisper of a snowstorm. So it's never quite thick enough to go tobogganing or sledding. And so we keep just waiting every morning, running out, or it's all fallen in the morning, but then by the afternoon it's melted and it's not really like, toboggan worthy snow. So we haven't had a day of that yet, but he's a hockey player. So we rented some ice. We're all going to be on the ice in about an hour.
Oh, wow. Oh, excited. So this film, if you could describe in your own words what The Confession is about and whom you play.
I play Naomi Riley. The film is about, I don't know how to do that without giving so much away, but I play a woman who used to be a pretty popular and successful rock star who is now a single mom and has run out of money, so needs to move back into her estranged father's home to save up while she works on her next record. And she uncovers a disturbing tape to which her father confesses something horrific, and things then start happening, and it's, as if something's been unleashed, and she has to sort of battle within herself between what she'll allow herself to believe, religiously and supernaturally, versus her very reality, empirically based sense of self. So it's interesting because I, lean toward the more science and proof and all of that sort of stuff. And so it was nice to be able to kind of see, if I were in this situation, like how much would I believe at this point? So it was a fun one.
It's definitely a great ride to watch because psychologically it messes with your mind. There is one scene near the beginning where you're in the garden and there's a certain light that keeps on going on and off, on and off. For me, at that moment, I thought, oh my days, it's going to be one of them films. And literally, I was on tender hooks for the entire time. So what was it about Naomi that really got your creative juices going and made you think, do you know what, I want this part?
You know what? I've been given a few scripts that sort of touched on religion and belief and the extent of which an individual is challenged with those in certain circumstances. But this one just felt very much like, oh, this is pretty much how I would react in this situation. Like it was written really naturally and sharp and it didn't drag on. It wasn't too preachy. Like it was all very much like, how much are you willing to believe to save someone you love without compromising, like without actually like breaking your brain and losing your mind. And then I met with Will Cannon, who wrote and directed it. And we just got along so well instantly. And we sort of mulled over some things and we just, honestly, like I cannot wait to work with him again. I had such a blast with him and he's twisted in all the right ways.
And you in this part, I've seen you in so many things. And I've got to say, this is probably the one role that I think has really floored me in the way of performance, in the way of, sort of stretching your acting skills. It's just, you were so emotional at parts. And even my wife said in parts, you came across quite raw. And I think what she means there is sort of real. I mean, when you're on set and you're giving performances like that, how do you leave Naomi on set when they shout cut and then go home to your family without, carrying a bit of that with you?
This one didn't stick to me like Chasing Life did, where I played a young girl battling leukemia, because I think, this one to me, I guess in Italia's brain, not Naomi's, still isn't quite possible in reality, in my mind. So I was able to shake it, or even in the middle of the day, if we're shooting a big sobbing scene and they yell cut, I can be like, okay, so, where's this next snack or whatever. Like it doesn't, it's just a switch that I'm lucky that I have. But Chasing Life would, like, that one really, because I felt so guilty that I could like go home on the weekend and not have cancer. And I just felt really gross about that. So that one definitely stuck with me more. But this one was more also like the amount of laughing we did on set of The Confession was unbelievable. Also because Zachary, who you can see on the poster there, he was so young. He was, we shot this like 2.5 years ago. And so we didn't want to keep it too intense on set. And also you couldn't. We were all in Wilmington in a small house for many hours. And it was just like, you would have gone nuts if we didn't keep some levity to it. But I also didn't have to come home at night because we were shooting in North Carolina. So my husband was single dadding while I was away. And that was actually nice because then I didn't have to try and, turn on mom when I got home and fold laundry. And, but also like, little fun things too. Like I was all tattooed in the movie and I went down to Steven, this guy who was the manager at the hotel I was staying, and he would saran wrap my tattoos so I could shower and we didn't have to reapply them the next day. And it was just, my life is so strange sometimes.
You know what? My wife actually mentioned the tattoo that you have in the film on the back of your neck. Yeah. And she turned around and she went, "Oh, I like that tattoo." And I said, it's not real. She went, "Really?" I said, "Yeah, I'm sure she hasn't got that many tattoos." But she really liked was it 4 lines, I think it was, on the back of your neck, if I remember rightly.
I think that, there were a series of lines. Tara, our makeup artist, did a great job with them. I had like one that was kind of like a maze thing on my shoulder. And then I had my husband's initials on my hand. And then I think I had some more fun stuff. We were coming up with ideas and I worked with Kiefer Sutherland. So I was like, I have to be tatted in this movie. Like, send me a picture of your favorite tattoo, because he's covered. So we were going to do that, but then we couldn't get the artist to sign off on it. So I didn't do it.
and then I wanted to ask that there's so many great scenes. Have you got a favorite that you're most proud of, without giving too much away? Because it's incredible to watch. It really is. And I've actually watched it twice now.
Oh my gosh.
I know, because I always miss things. I'm an overthinker when it comes down to films. So I literally fall both feet in, and I sometimes miss things because I'm like sort of like hyper focused on the screen. But with you, have you got a scene that you're most proud of in the way of how it's come across?
I mean, the whole movie was really kind of a labor of love. Like, it was for so many reasons. I'm so grateful that certain scenes turned out as great as they were because of, different hurdles or weather conditions or whatever it was. But I love the fight in the basement with the bad guy. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that much, but I didn't use a stunt double, and we choreographed it, and I know they have some behind the scenes videos. I don't know if they'll share them, but he was 6'7", so it was huge. Oh, 6'7", that's my son. I love that I just said that.
Oh no,
anyway.
Oh no. Everyone's like going, 6'7".
It's here too, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I had so much fun just messing around with them, and then in the water we got to mess around, and then all the underwater stuff was in a pool, and a lot of my previous roles I never really got to be super physical, and so that was really fun. I grew up with brothers. I live with 3 boys. We're constantly having Royal Rumbles on the couch, so it was just like really fun to get to like do that. I want to do that more.
And when you read the script, obviously it's based around the Pan Piper from Hamlin. I mean, was the story quite shocking to you when you first read it? Because, I mean, I'm not going to spoil the end for anyone or the basis of the whole story, but was it quite shocking?
I didn't see it coming. And I think the first thing I said to Will when we jumped on a Zoom was, can I swear on this?
Of course you can.
Okay. I was like, "You're fucked up, man. I can't believe you would do that. That is so heartbreaking." And he was like, "Yeah, sorry."
Since obviously having a child, has your, thought patterns around your roles changed? Because a film like this, going in, if you didn't have a child, would you have taken on the role differently? Because, it involves kids. It goes very deep at one point, and being a parent myself as well, it's heartbreaking. on so many levels. So do you think you would have seen the part differently?
I think I would have seen it the same. It just wouldn't have been as deeply like cellularly reactive. You know what I mean? Like, and I think actually the horrific parts of it, I think would have been fine. What I think having a kid helped me with was the sweet and comfortable moments because, you know, my son wasn't quite as old as Dylan's character in the movie, but enough to be like, okay, I notice a lot of people who don't have kids tend to baby older children in films and still talk to them like they're idiots. And so, you know, I was like, no, I can speak to him like he's just a grown up and we can just have a regular chat. Like a lot of those morning scenes were very much more natural than I think I may have tried to play them had I not had my own experience conversing on a regular basis with my kid.
And there is a scene in this film where you may or may not, again, I don't want to spoil it for people, singing. Is that really you singing?
Yeah. Originally in the film, I was to play a whole like guitar solo, play a piano piece in a different part, and then this whole song. So I was so nervous because I don't do any of those things in a professional enough way for it to be on film. So I had a few months leading up to it where I bought a guitar, a piano, I bought everything. I took vocal lessons. I started really getting into it. And so when we worked with our composer and a vocal coach, we recorded the song, which I think plays over the end credits. And we filmed it as if I had sung the whole thing. And I had my guitar and I had, again, like Kiefer helped me. I had any friends that I know, my buddy Ben helped. I had so many people sending me videos of like what it would look like if I was playing that on the piano, what it would look like if I was doing that on the guitar. So I just could fake it well. And then barely any of it made it into the movie. And I think I gave Will an earful about that.
Well, enough made it in for me to hope and cross my fingers that it was actually you singing because it was incredible. And I was thinking to myself, I hope it's not like dubbed. I really don't. I really hope it's you. And I'm really happy it is because could this be the future? I mean, Kiefer did it with his albums. Could we have a potential album from you in the future?
No chance. Not sober anyway.
Well, Kiefer drinks on stage, so who knows? Because I've seen him twice with his band, and he's got a few drinks on stage while he's performing. I mean, this film is coming out on the 16th of January on demand, and I can't wait for everyone to watch this film because honestly, watching you from can't even speak, Designated Survivor, this is a completely different character for you. Compared to that. While I've got you, just for a few more minutes, is it okay if I ask you about Designated Survivor? Because then I could just pretend that I got you a couple of years ago. I mean, with this show, Designated Survivor, it's one of my favorite shows of all time. I haven't got a clue about politics, especially about American politics, but this show was awesome. What was it like being? I'm going to bring a picture of Emily Rhodes there on the screen. What was it like being on this show? Because it must have been an incredible ride.
It really was. Everybody, I mean, first of all, the writing and the story that David Guggenheim created was so brilliant. Like, I think the pilot episode of Designated is one of the best episodes of television. And I think that, Kiefer was perfect for it. And it was just, my mind was blown that I even booked it to begin with. Because I remember going into the audition waiting room and I recognized every girl from like HBO shows and Showtime. And I was like, what the hell am I doing here? I'm coming here from ABC Family and like little me, like, coming in. So I was blown away that I booked it. I was thrilled. And then, I was very similar. I was like, oh my God, I know nothing about politics. What am I going to, I bought like the, How the White House Works for Dummies book and stuff before we shot the first episode. And then I got there and everybody on set was so great. The whole cast, like Cal, Kiefer, Maggie, Aiden, like, and the writers and the directors they had, like everybody was so great. And we all bonded over chess. We had 1 million chessboards across the whole White House set, and we would constantly be playing and watching each other play. We held up scenes sometimes because we had to finish a game. And it's just so rare on shows. I guess maybe not now that we're a bit older, but to have like no bad apples. Like everybody was just a grown up, came to work, knew their lines, got on with it, and were good at their jobs, and then went out for dinners and like had like, there was no drama. It was just, and we're all still very close.
And it's just a great show because you had cameos from like Michael J. Fox and which is incredible to see, because obviously he was in Spin City and other shows like that. Kiefer Sutherland, I've interviewed a hell of a lot of people from 24, and there's always been rumours going around about his work ethic, and everyone I've spoken to has said he's been amazing. He's an absolute professional. And there is an actor, which I'm not going to mention who this actor is. I actually spent the afternoon with this actor, and I've got to say that he's probably making it up because he's not a very nice person who said this, and I've got a good sense of who's nice and who's not. But what was Kiefer like to work with? Because it just seems a genuinely nice guy.
He really is. He shows up, he had a lot of dialogue and he always knew it. And it's, he's got a gift where the scenes are like music to him, so he can hear the beat, and if there's too long of a breath in between two people's lines, he'll be like, we have to start again, and you just like, he can hear the pacing, and it was amazing to watch. And he's so respectful of everybody else's job, but too behind the cameras, like he's a vet. And so I was just sitting there with like popcorn, just watching him, being like, all right, I've got a first, row seat to the best sort of class of my life here.
Yeah. He's just incredible. And he's just done a film over in the UK about a panto, which I just think is fantastic, because no one over here knows what a panto is, over the pond, which I think is incredible. Have you got a favourite scene or moment from Designated Survivor that will always stay with you?
Do I have a favorite scene or moment? I think the very first scene you ever see me in, when Kiefer and I are walking across the street, just because we always talk about it when we're together, because he was having an off day, I think, that day. And so he thought that he was being really mean to me when I was already just shitting Frisbees that I'm in a scene with Kiefer Sutherland, so it doesn't matter. And so I'm just trying to get through my like fast dialogue. It's freezing cold. We're shooting in Toronto. Our mouths are frozen. And so he thinks that he's being mean to me, and I'm just trying to and so we both just remember it so wildly different. But he's like, I remember you being so good and me being all weird. And I was like, you were amazing. I could barely speak. And like, it's just like, it was so interesting for us both to remember it so differently. And it turned out perfectly fine. I think that one is probably one of the most memorable, but there were so many fun ones. And of course, anything with Aiden, who we all miss very much, and was a gem of a human.
And one of my last questions is, did you steal anything from set? Did you take anything? Have you taken anything from any of the projects that you've been involved with? Oh, yeah.
Everybody does. And if they say they don't, they're lying. What did I take from Designated? I think I maybe took a couple of like items of clothing. And then I have like a mug from Chasing Life. What did I have from Supergirl? What did I take from Supergirl? I don't know. It's all like in the basement somewhere since we moved back. But I know Kiefer took an ashtray from the Oval Office, and I was like, oh, that's such a better thing to get. I think the thing I got was like so obscure that like doesn't make much of a difference whether or not it's from a set or the dollar store.
Oh, I would have brought a bag and just filled it with anything and everything. Do you know what I mean? Just fill it, and just, it's great. But I mean, obviously you're very, very, very busy. It's Christmas coming up. What have you got coming up next? I mean, is there anything that you can share that you're working on, or is it a case of just enjoying the holidays with the family?
I'm definitely going to be enjoying the holidays with the family. I live for Christmas. But we've got The Confession coming out, and then my husband and I produced and are in a sports comedy that'll be coming out early next year called Race Walkers, about Olympic speed walking.
Right.
Yeah, normally he does the comedy and the action, and I sort of stick to the crying and the drama. So this was an interesting venture for both of us. Well, it's more his wheelhouse, so I was the more nervous one. And then I did an episode of Tracker, and they kind of left it open-ended, so I hope I get to go back.
I saw that. I didn't see the episode. I saw it on your Instagram because I had Fiona Renee on the show a little while back. It's such a great show. Such a great show. Yeah, they must be filming every day.
Oh yeah, the crew is awesome. It's another one of those like gems, because I've worked on a bunch of things, and it's so nice to go into a place where I'm like, oh, everybody is just happy to be here, and it's so lovely. And Justin is awesome, and I've kind of fallen in love with his wife. So any excuse to go back to Vancouver and hang with them, I would be looking forward to.
That is awesome. Italia, thank you so much for coming on to the show. It's been an absolute pleasure.